So obviously this is your first call-up after how many years, right?
Yep.
And the person who did so, I mean, calling up Darren Lok back to the national setup is Kim Pan Gon, our relatively new manager who took over earlier this year. Do you remember the day that he called you?
So already for the previous call up when they went to the friendlies in Singapore, I was named in the list, but then I got COVID on the first day.
Oh man, what are the odds?
So that was another tough one to take, and I almost at that point went home and I just laughed. It was getting to the point where I was laughing about it. I thought.
You can't say anything anymore,
there's
just laugh
nothing
about
else,
it.
There's nothing else I can do but just laugh now. But no, I don't. He's seen something in my game for PJ. I know he comes to a lot of PJ games. Maybe he's local around this area, but he's been at most PJ games we play this year, so he's seen me play enough. And I think, like I touched on before, the type of player I am and what I do as a striker, I'm not your typical number 9 who I don't know, waits there for the ball to come and I'm sort of I'll go and be almost I'm almost a defender almost. I press and I try and make it a hard night for the defenders. He must have seen something that he thought would work in his team.
That's very interesting that you say that he's been to a lot of PGA games, because the way, from my point of view, at least as a spectator, right, the way he utilizes you is almost as if he's a guy that completely understands what he wants out of you very specifically. Like, it's not like he's telling you to, okay, you're the leading striker, go and do your job. No, but it almost feels like he's got very specific reasons as to why he's playing you up front. And it makes sense if he's been to PGA games, because he would have had the time to look at your performances, formulate ideas around your style of play and how to utilize you within the national team. Would you say that's the case? Like, he's got very specific ideas for what he wants you to do on the pitch?
Possibly. I think if you look at the games that we've just played in these qualifying matches, there's a clear way to how we've gone and played. I think we haven't given the opponent any time. The whole team has pressed together as a unit, and the pace of our game has certainly picked up from previously. So I guess I am that striker at the moment that fits that style, that will go and start the press, as you say. If I go first, then everyone follows me, and it's very difficult to play against. It doesn't give the opponent any time, and I think we showed against Turkmenistan the first 15 minutes, they didn't know what had hit them. The same against Bahrain. The pitch wasn't easy for Bahrain, don't get me wrong, but they weren't able to do anything in that first 10 minutes. And I think there's definitely a method to how he wants to play, and at the moment I'm hopefully able to help with what I can do.
Can you tell us one specific tactical instruction from Kim Pan Gon, maybe to you or to the team, that may be not known to the public?
That made you go, wow, that is smart. That does work.
I think, like I just said, it's more about organisation at this level. Being the pressing was a big thing in camp, and not giving the opponent any time. So I'd say the main thing to take away from this camp is how we pressed as a team was very important for the coach.
One final question, Darren. As supporters, one of the most incredible things about going to the Bukit Jalil Stadium, yes, you've got the national team, and you've got the players that we want to root for. But one of the most incredible things about attending the Bukit Jalil Stadium on big games is the presence of the Ultras Malaya and the work they do behind the scenes to rally a group of people of that size, to prepare those tifos, those incredible tifos. I mean, us sitting on the stands when the national anthem is played, looking at the tifo alone, it's insane, Darren. And I can't begin to imagine what it's like being on the pitch with the crest on your chest. Hearing the national anthem and watching those tifos. What was it like to play in front of the Ultras Malaya over the last 1 month?
It was amazing, and it certainly gave the team a huge lift. Like you say, looking as you're lining up and the national anthems are about to start, you look over to your right and you can see the huge banners that are going up and the work that just goes into that. We train every day, we go out there just to play a game of football, but to see the dedication from those fans and the work that must go into, even when they're chanting, they're all chanting together, and it was unbelievable. My first experience of playing in front of them at that sort of size, it definitely helped the players get the important results, and what an experience. Still taking, and now I'm talking about it, just sort of reliving the night. But of course, we've qualified for Asia, but we still got a lot of work to do. Let's not get carried away.
Because I remember in 2019, Faiz, where we had a casual chat with Brandon. He was part of the national team at that point, right? And I remember him saying that the ultras, the constant singing, the chanting, yes, you do block out the crowd when you're playing, but when it hits the 60th minute, the 70th minute, when you start to feel fatigue, it's those voices and those songs and those that atmosphere that keeps you going. Is that the same case for you guys?
Yeah, there's definitely something behind that. As a player, when we played in COVID times when there was no fans. And it does seem a lot harder when the whole stadium's quiet. You're tired. Your thoughts are running through your head. Can I carry on going? But when there are the crowd and they're singing and they're cheering, it definitely does give you that drive and pushes you over the line. And I think on another night, if Bangladesh had equalised in an empty stadium, who knows? We might have found it hard to go and get that other goal. But the crowd and all the supporters through the whole time were fantastic. So thank you to every single one of them.
Last question before we wrap this up. What's the best case scenario for Darren Lok for the remainder of the season with PJ City and maybe the national team, of course? The best case scenario, remember.
The best case scenario. I think I just have to keep it low key. It's so important that I just continue to enjoy my football and continue playing.
That's important, yeah.
That's the most important thing for me. I've had 5 years here, and my years at PJ have been the happiest by far. Just to play every week, 90 minutes for your club and to help in any way possible. If you're not playing football and your job is a footballer, something's missing from your life, and you can't even enjoy those days off if you're not playing football. So just to help PJ any way I can. Hopefully be there with a call-up for the national team in September. And just, again, if I'm not scoring the goals, helping in any way possible. So that's all I can hope for.
Darren, when you look right into that camera, you're looking at a camera at the moment, but what's behind that are thousands of people who 5 years ago maybe had a different perception of you, but today they are your number one supporters on and off the pitch. What would you like to say to them?
Just thank you for continuing to support me. I hope that I'm able to just give something to the national team in any way possible. And I can guarantee you, whenever I play for Malaysia or at club level, I'll always give my best. So thank you for supporting, and just keep it up. You've been amazing this whole campaign. Thank you.